Hi everyone, it's Elizabeth from Astrology at elpisastrology.com. Thanks for joining me today. So this is my take on the astrological aspects for January 2023, and towards the end of the video I will do the individual signs and ascendants and give you a little personal reading. So we start off the month of January 2023 with Venus at 1 degree of Aquarius sextiling Jupiter at 1 degree of Aries. And to me, this is just a really bright spark. I just got this crackling, sparkling energy around. So that's just the first few days of January. So it'll be just after us celebrating Christmas as well as New Year's. There could be some very exciting new relationships start at this time. So we're looking at around the 1 degree mark, and in particular 1 degree of Aquarius for Venus, and then 1 degree of Aries for Jupiter. But this could just be a lucky day for some people if you've got something around that 1 degree mark, right? So our first full moon of 2023 will be in Cancer, and that's going to be on the 6th of January at 3:07 p.m., and that's, of course, Pacific time. And it is going to be at 16 degrees of Cancer and 21 minutes. So as we've talked about before, a full moon has the moon in one sign, and then in the opposite sign, we have the sun. And of course, the sun then would be in the opposite sign of Capricorn. So we're looking at around 16 degrees here of Cancer for the full moon itself. And so this is going to bring something to a conclusion. This is not an eclipse. And especially we talk about Cancers as well as the opposite sign Capricorn. There could be something that's just brought to a close here. Now, some of the aspects around this full moon include the sun conjuncting a Mercury retrograde. And then, of course, both those positions will be opposite the moon at 16 Cancer. So I would say that this could be some communications of some sort are obscured because we still have Mercury retrograde. And in particular, because this, of course, is in Capricorn, it could be from authority figures of some sort. And if you want to translate, say, this into your own life, if you've got something around this 16 degree mark, it could be something like a superior or manager has something to say to you. Maybe they're not happy about something, and they actually want to have a discussion with you. That sort of thing could happen too. The other thing we have happening is a wide sextile with the moon and the north nodes just prior to the full moon. So this is like a little trigger, I think, prior to this full moon effect of bringing something to a conclusion, that there's a tie-in with regards to especially our collective destiny path. But if you have your north nodes, of course, in Taurus, because the north nodes are still in Taurus, you may be directly affected by this. Maybe some kind of big wrap-up with regards to you finally being able to get on the path that you want to get on and seeing that there's an emotional way forward as you end something. We still have Mars retrograde in Gemini, and this, of course, will be trining Venus in Aquarius. And this just sets up lovely conversations. And for some, there may be some exciting romance in the air. Yeah, that's really nice. Mercury retrograde will be conjunct the sun, as I mentioned, but it'll also be trining Uranus. And at this full moon on the 6th of Jan, we still have Uranus going retrograde. So I would say with two retrogrades trining each other, I'd like to say they cancel themselves out, but it just could be that some surprising information or messages come in, but it's just a surprise or unexpected. You're not quite sure what it actually means. That meaning may come after that Mercury actually goes direct. And at that same time, we will have Uranus direct. So it may just be some surprising messages come in. But nicely, that moon will be sextiling Uranus. So that can bring in unusual, unexpected opportunities. And because this is a full moon, I see it as unexpected opportunities come in to potentially help you let go of something or tie something up. And it doesn't have to be negative. Maybe something big is coming to a conclusion of some sort for some folks. But the other thing it can also say is that that moon can represent the people. And so it's the people unexpectedly maybe rising up, unexpectedly expressing their emotions, whether it's happiness or unhappiness at this time. So the next day, on the 7th of Jan, that moon is still going to be in Cancer, but now it's going to be in opposition to Pluto, which is at 27 degrees of Capricorn. So I would say this is going to be a powerful day of emotional expression. I would say take care not to take things too personally on an individual basis, because of course Cancer can be sensitive, and it can also be controlling. And of course Pluto can be controlling too. So there may be a little tug of war on this day with regards to some folks that have something around this 27-degree mark of either Cancer or Capricorn. But again, we could take this to the people, the collective, as the moon. And there could be some very powerful emotional energy expressed at this time. And don't forget, Pluto's in its last degrees before it actually goes into Aquarius, right? So this could literally be big tie-up time for people in power and the rising up of the people, asking for change. On the 12th of Jan, we have that sojourn of Mars in Gemini finally going direct. And so it's at 8 degrees of Gemini. And this 8 degrees of Gemini, I think, is an important degree point. So check your chart and see if you do have something around 8 degrees of Gemini, or the opposite sign, 8 degrees of Sagittarius, like in particular a sun or an ascendant, I would say, maybe midheaven too. I'm going to talk about that 8 degree of Gemini in the new moon that I'll talk about in a couple minutes here. Then on the 18th of Jan, we have Mercury going direct, also at 8 degrees, but 8 degrees of Capricorn. So again, check your chart and see if there's anything you've got around that 8 degrees of Capricorn as well. Certainly this is a turning point. We've still got to get Mercury and Mars out of shadow, right? But at least we know that approximately mid-January, the 2 retrogrades are going to literally be going forward, albeit at a slow rate. But a lot of things like where we couldn't move forward on things, especially to do with communications of any sort, that's the Mars part, you'll start getting, these little openings of saying, oh, I can see a way forward. And then the Mercury, of course, going direct is us getting messages clearer, getting clear communications going. You may be being a bit clearer as well, because both those retrogrades going together can cause some confusion for sure, and certainly miscommunication. I mean, Mercury itself is the communicator, and then where Mars is in Gemini, Mercury rules Gemini. So I would say be optimistic about clearing up a lot of things in a positive way, at least starting sort of mid-month in January, with both these things affecting, both these retrogrades truly affecting some kind of communication, messaging, maybe even writing for some. All right, so we have our new moon in Aquarius on the 21st of January at 12:53 p.m. and it's at 1 degree and 32 minutes of Aquarius. So check your chart to see if you've got anything significant around that. It's really interesting because a lot of the new moons in 2023 are around this 1 degree mark. And although it's not 0 degrees, which we actually classify as a critical degree, it's awfully close. It just makes me very optimistic this year to see so many new moons at the beginning of the sign. It really emphasizes new beginnings in my mind. And this is our first new moon in 2023 in exciting electric Aquarius. So some of the aspects around this new moon. will be that it conjuncts Pluto. Remember that Pluto is still in Capricorn, but it's in the final degrees before going into Aquarius itself. So I would say that this is potential for some new beginnings with people in power. It would be wonderful if all those many protests and requests for power to be changed, we see some new thing happening here with regards to a complete change in power. And don't forget, starting sort of in March time, that Pluto is going to go just dip its toe into Aquarius. So this may herald an actual new beginning with regards to getting people that shouldn't be in power, that the real people don't want in power. There may be some real shifts here, and that would be good news for many, many people. The moon also nicely trines Jupiter in Aries, so this just gives a lot of optimism and hope to the people. And if you've got anything around, see, we're still looking at the 1 degree mark here, this could be just a really lucky time for you. We have Venus conjunct Saturn, so this could just bring some more serious thoughts and decisions, perhaps, where it's around our money. I got the feeling of Venus conjunct Saturn was having to pay attention and be a bit more serious about our money, but it's also serious about love and serious about our value, right? All three of those areas are covered by Venus. It could make some people just a little bit blue as well. Saturn can put a damper on things. It could have some that are, say, starting love relationships, say, is this true? Is this real for me? That sort of thing can come in here too. And there's nothing wrong with occasionally questioning things, right? And asking yourself that. All right, so this gets into that whole 8 degrees of Gemini that Mars went direct at. So we've also got a yod happening around this new moon in Aquarius. And we have Mercury, the communicator, now at 8 degrees of Capricorn. We have this on one part of this yod. Then we have the south node of the moon at 9 degrees of Scorpio. And both these things are pointing at Mars, now direct at 8 degrees of Gemini. So this 8th degree of Gemini is important in terms of some kind of big change of some sort. And so I would say, if for you individually, if you've got this degree point in your chart of prominence, so we're looking at the sun, potentially the moon, the ascendant and the midheaven, that whole Mars retrograde actually had a lot more meaning for you. And I would say it's tied in with letting go of something that's the south node. And Mercury I see as our thoughts. And then moving forward with new ways of communicating. That's how I see the whole sort of function of that yod. It's asking us to start putting energy into thinking differently and letting go of old ways of thinking and communicating. And instead, looking at better ways to work with people together, right? That's very Gemini as well. All right, so on the 22nd of January, we have Uranus that's now direct. It will be at 15 degrees of Taurus. So this is Uranus now moving forward. This is great electrical energy starts crackling in the universe for us. And on the 23rd of Jan, we have the moon in Aquarius still. Will be conjunct both Venus and Saturn at 24 degrees of Aquarius. Well, this could just set up some really beautiful structures is what I get from this. And it may even have, I know we've heard through 2022, wonderful news from outer space and new breakthroughs in science. But this could also be the 23rd of Jan. Some really interesting structures come to light that, look beautiful. That's Venus. But it's in Aquarius, so it's probably from outer space. So we may get some beautiful images coming in here from outer space that change the way we see our structure of our universe. But it could also be another breakthrough with regards to science. All right, so next I'm going to be going into each of the individual signs. So Aquarius, happy new year for you. This is your new moon of 2023. But we'll start off with the full moon in Cancer, and that is in your 6th house, Aquarius. So something may come to a conclusion or a spotlight brought on some health matter. It could also be something to do with your job, your day-to-day job. There may be some conclusion there. Maybe you're going to start a new job and leave the one that you're in. That could happen with that full moon. We have the new moon in Aquarius is going to be in your 1st house. Now remember, that's going to be widely conjunct Pluto. And then, of course, Venus will also be conjunct Saturn in Aquarius at that time. So I think for you, Aquarius, there could be some powerful changes that are afoot for you, especially as it relates to your emotional self. Because, of course, the moon represents our emotions. And with Venus conjunct Saturn, I would say that maybe a couple things could happen with that from a personal standpoint. You could make something more serious with regards to a love relationship, or you may decide that the love relationship you're in is not what you really want, that it's not what you want, basically, that it maybe has a negative element to it that you've discovered, and you decide you want to perhaps move away from that relationship. But it can also bring in a more serious tone to an existing relationship. All right, take care, Aquarius. For Pisces, so Pisces, the full moon is in your 5th house. And this full moon is trine your sign. So this is bringing in favorable energy for you with regards to a number of areas of life. This could have some conclusion with regards to your love life, your children, your own business, even expressing your authentic self, maybe creatively. Maybe some favorable opportunity comes your way at the full moon, even though it's a full moon, that allows you to express your creativity. But it may also involve you letting go of something at the same time. Or maybe you have a creative project that is finally being wrapped up around this full moon at 16 degrees of Cancer. The new moon in Aquarius is in your 12th house, and it sextiles your sign. So, I mean, I think that's really nice too, right? And we have the Venus conjunct Saturn and Pluto involved here too, of course, at this new moon. So it's all aspecting your 12th house. I would say opportunities could be brought in for you to maybe explore the metaphysical side of life. It could also have you having to deal with maybe hidden institutions, opportunities to deal with these people. So this could be hospitals, it could be government offices, ashrams, that sort of thing. Yeah, I mean, this would be a great time for you to go, say, into an ashram and do some healing for yourself as well. Take care, Pisces. All right, Aries. So Aries, the full moon in Cancer, is in your 4th house, and it squares your sign. So this is going to bring some challenges to you with regard to the 4th house. It could be that you have some challenges with regards to your mother or your family. It could be literally your home. Maybe you're trying to buy a home or sell a home, and there's some issues surrounding the home that you have to resolve. I always say with squares, try to think outside the box. But certainly if you're listening to this in advance, know that January may present some problems in the home. And if you can think now as you're watching this video in advance of what those might be, and maybe start looking at some of the solutions before the full moon, that might be really helpful for getting those challenges resolved at this time. The new moon in Aquarius is in your 11th house, and it sextiles your sign. So these are lovely opportunities To make new friendships, to join new groups. And of course, you have Venus conjunct Saturn and then Pluto involved as well with that new moon. So I would say that there may be some powerful forces at work with regards to maybe some of the new groups that you decide to join. And there may be just a little more electricity in the air with regards to like communicating with friends more, or a new friendship that comes in for you that really kind of lights you up and gets your thoughts moving a little bit faster and in a more excited way. And of course, you've got Jupiter in your sign, Aries. It's only going to last till about mid-May 2023, but this is just bringing good luck to you, Aries. And you would have to see what you have in your chart, of course, personally, to see exactly how it will affect you. But it's always of benefit to have Jupiter in your sign. So enjoy that. That's a 12-year cycle. So every 12 years, approximately, you will have Jupiter in your sign, Aries. Take care. All right, Taurus. So Taurus, this full moon in Cancer is in your third house, and it sextiles your sign. So this is bringing opportunities in to this third house. Now, this could bring opportunities for short distance travel, maybe around your neighborhood or your city. It could also have you communicating more, just generally speaking. Maybe opportunities to connect with your siblings and or your neighbors as well, right? And also the third house rules writing. So this may have you maybe taking up or concluding maybe some writing project at this time. The new moon in Aquarius is in your 10th house, and this forms a square with you, Taurus. So this may have some Taurians, and I mean, don't forget, we also have Uranus still in your sign, Taurus, right? As well as the North nodes. So there may be some new thing that you've got to do in your career. Maybe you've got a promotion of some sort that's going to give you a new beginning. But at the same time, you're going to have to learn maybe new skills or learn how to deal with people in a different way. And it's just a little bit of a challenge for you. I would say that because this is Aquarius, it's probably something to do with communications of some sort, maybe even generalized to something like social media, where you've got to learn how to use social media more appropriately in your career. You will have the nodes leaving your sign about mid-July, and they won't be back again for another 18 to 20 years. Take care, Taurus. All right, Gemini. Gemini, this full moon in Cancer is in your second house. So, Gemini, you've been, entertaining a retrograde Mars for a little while in your sign too. And at this full moon, it's still going to be retrograde. So you'll have a retrograde Mars in your sign for the first moon or the first lunation. So I would say that you may have some conclusion with regards to the income that you make. Maybe even there's a tie-in with values of yourself. And with Cancer, we're always, talking about Cancer being so nurturing, right? So there may be some decision to let go of maybe a job where you are earning your income. Or maybe for some Geminis, you've just been burning the candle at both ends, and you've been doing more than one job, and you decide, that's it, I need to let one of these jobs go at this time. But it could also be, for some Geminis, a decision that you wanted to be treated and valued more. And you take some initiative at this time where you wrap something up and end some way of maybe the way you're being treated. Now, better, of course, is the new moon in Aquarius, because then your Mars in Gemini is going to be going direct. And this new moon trines your sign very nicely. So this is beautiful, beautiful energy coming in into the 9th house. So this could bring in some new beginning, maybe for some Geminis that are writers. You can see the road now and given some favorable opportunity to publish your works. Maybe you've been rewriting, or being held back from actually getting something published, here's your green light coming in, Gemini, at this new moon in Aquarius. Especially if you've got something, say, around the 1 degree mark, right? 1 degree mark of Aquarius, and then whatever you've got in Gemini. But it's also foreign people and foreign places. It's also the law, and it's also travel. So there may be some Geminis that are planning some travel at this time. It would be a good activity to do, Gemini, is to plan some travel for yourself, because you've got such favorable energy for yourself. All right, take care, Gemini. So for Cancer, obviously this full moon is in your sign and your first house at 16 degrees of Cancer. So it really is going to have to be around that 16 degree of mark of Cancer and or the opposite sign Capricorn to have any really immediate effect. Otherwise, sometimes these things can go by without us noticing anything much. But if you do have that, this is some tie-up for you in your life, where you make some decision that you need to end something. And the first house is everything about you and everything around you. So it could be anything to do with your home, even your job, you yourself. Maybe you decide to end some kind of nurturing role that you've had, and you decide, I'm going to consciously this year nurture myself more. Now, the new moon in Aquarius is going to be in your 8th house. And of course, Pluto's involved here, as well as Venus and Saturn, bringing a little bit more gravity into this whole 8th house. The benefit is with Pluto hanging around is that Pluto rules that 8th house, so it's a little more beneficial. But your 8th house could have new beginnings with regards to investments. Maybe you decide to make some big investment at this time. And that could also be something like being approved for a mortgage too, right? It could also have you deciding to take some new route with regards to maybe your credit cards, where you're able to see a new way of maybe paying them off, or some loan of some sort. But it's also our psychological selves. So there may be some Cancers that decide to, seek some psychological help to have a new beginning for themselves. It also rules our sex life, so this could indicate some new beginning with regards to your sex life as well. Take care, Cancer. All right, Leo. Leo, this full moon in Cancer is in your 12th house. And of course, the 12th house is technically a hidden house, and hidden places like hospitals, ashrams, government offices, that type of thing. So that there may be some tie-up there that you conclude something. The 12th house also is, it's our house where we maybe ignore some of the things about ourselves and we put it underneath the carpet. And this full moon is just going to bring a big illumination to that. So if that does come up for some Leos, just look at whatever it is that you might need to resolve. And I would say it's more tied into our inner selves. Take a look at it and see if you can clean up some of that stuff. It's like doing a Marie Kondo inside ourselves, right? But with Pluto involved in this too, that also brings in officials and the law and that type of thing too. So you may have to have some kind of dealings with that as well. Some official people of some sort may have to be addressed in some way. But you know what? The 12th house is also the house of rest. So for some Leos, maybe after a very active holiday season, you just need to make the decision to rest more and get maybe your health back. The new moon in Aquarius is in your 7th house, and it forms an opposition. So that whole Pluto, Saturn, Venus by conjunction is going to be opposite, right? So I would say that this new moon in Aquarius in your 7th house could have a partner coming into focus for some reason. And it brings and ushers in a new beginning here. So some Leos may actually be having a new beginning with regards to a partnership. And this partnership can be a business partnership or a marriage partnership. Yeah. So there may be just some powerful changes that go on there with regards to partners. And transformation is part of this whole new moon for you, right? And some of this transformation may come unexpectedly because, of course, it's in Aquarius, which is ruled by Uranus. I hope it's enjoyable for you, Leo. Take care. For Virgo, the full moon in Cancer is in your 11th house, and it sextiles your sign. So this brings in opportunities for you to meet new friends, join new groups. For some, it may even, for some that have their own business, it could be new opportunities to make money, because the 11th house can represent the money that you make through your own business. Yeah. It could have you deciding with the full moon to for sure seek new opportunities, but maybe to let go of some friendships and some groups. It's kind of like both things could happen with this sextile aspect here. You could also conclude, I mean, it's also hopes and wishes, the 11th house. Maybe some hope or wish comes to fruition, and the full moon represents that for you. The new moon in Aquarius is in your 6th house. So these are new opportunities coming your way with regards to your health. So perhaps you're going to take up some new exercise or diet regimen, or just new opportunities with regards to your day-to-day job. Take care, Virgo. For Libra, the full moon in Cancer is in your 10th house, and it squares your sign, Libra. So this is you having to deal with some aspect with regards to your career. Maybe you've changed up your career and you are either looking for a job or you're now involved in a new career and you're finding some things challenging for you. And certainly if that is the case, maybe try in advance to seek out a mentor that may actually help you assimilate new skills, right, in this new job that you're in. But at its worst, it could just present some challenges with regards to maybe managers or directors that you're working with regards to your career here. Now, the new moon in Aquarius actually trines your sign, and it's in your 5th house. So this is lovely. For some Librans, this may bring in a new relationship, a true love type thing. And or for others, maybe a child is involved in somehow. And for still others, Librans, this may be your time you decide to actually have your own business. Maybe that full moon with the square, you said, forget this. I don't want to work for the corporate world anymore. I'm going to do my own business. And you get this great new start at the new moon in Aquarius, because the 5th house does represent your own business as well. Could be a new artistic project comes in for you as well. That could be something that happens at this new moon. It certainly will be exciting and get you excited because it's in Aquarius. Take care, Libra. Scorpio, this full moon in Cancer trines your sign, and it is in your 9th house. So this is providing favorable energy with regards to anything to do with a foreign connection. Travel could be very favorable for you too. Publishing, for those Scorpios that want to publish, this is great opportunities and great energy to get something like that done. If you have anything to do with, say, a legal matter, this is going to bring in favorable energy to manage anything to do with lawyers, the law, and bring something maybe to a favorable conclusion for you. The new moon in Aquarius is in your 4th house, and that squares your sign. So the new moon could bring in, let's just say you've bought a house and you're finding that there's things that need to be repaired in the house that you didn't know about, or something goes wrong with regards to your home. That sort of thing can happen with this new moon, where you did have a new start with regards to buying a home, but there's some sort of challenge around that you have to take care of. Now, the fourth house also represents your mother, and by extension, your family too. So this could have some new beginning with regards to your mother or your family. But that it also provides some kind of challenges for you personally. Maybe you've got to step in and facilitate something with regards to the family or your mother at that new moon, but it provides a new opportunity for you. Or you'll get that new opportunity, but you're going to have to overcome a few challenges before the new opportunity becomes a reality for you. Good luck, Scorpio. Sagittarius, the full moon in Cancer is in your 8th house. So this brings some conclusion with regards to maybe an investment, some shared resource of some sort. There's a wrap-up regarding that. It can also bring some illumination with regards to your psychological self, where maybe you have some concluding thoughts with regards to some therapy that you were undertaking for some time, that now you're wrapping that up, that you feel confident enough to go on your own without going into therapy. That sort of thing can happen at this full moon. But it can also bring secrets to light. The 8th house is secrets as well. So there might be some secrets that come to light for some Sagittarius. It could also have some other Sagittarians concluding a mortgage or paying off a credit card. That's the ending for you. And the new moon in Aquarius is in your 3rd house. And this is sextile your sign. And that's lovely. So these are new opportunities to communicate, send messages, write. If you've got a writing project that was given to you, this is that whole new beginning. It can also have you doing some new opportunities to, say, travel around, but it's short distance travel. It's not long distance travel. But it'll certainly bring opportunities to communicate more. And Aquarius is very much social media too. So there will be some Sagittarians that really start up in earnest new beginnings and new starts with social media. That's a great way to use that new moon, Sagittarius. Take care. Capricorn, this full moon in Cancer is in your 7th house. And of course, it's opposite your sign. So this could bring some conclusion with regards to a partnership, or something is brought to a conclusion for your partner that affects you directly. You could be wrapping up something with regards to a partnership. For some, it may be that you decided to leave a partnership. And of course, this can be a business partnership just as much as a personal, like marriage partnership here. Some kind of conclusion is going to be coming up with regards to a partnership or partner. Others, it may be that you decide the clients that you have, that you're going to shift to a whole new type of client. And of course, generally speaking, the 7th house refers to the other people. So it could even bring in more official figures, like government officials or even lawyers or financial advisors. There may be something that you have to resolve with them that's not straightforward. That's the opposition, where maybe you disagree with them. Now, the new moon in Aquarius is in your 2nd house. So this basically says a new form of income coming in for some Capricorns. It may be that you acquire new possessions as well. Could also, for some Capricorns, have a new way of valuing yourself. I mean, Pluto is just about out of your sign. In fact, really, I think once now it's starting to dip its toe, that's Pluto, into Aquarius, that energy, that electrical energy is going to be there, and that heavy energy of Capricorn won't be. So this may be the start of a whole new way of working and earning money that's tied in directly with valuing yourself and standing up for what you value and having others value you through the money that you get in the job that you do. Good luck, Capricorn. All right, so when we look ahead to February 2023, we have a full moon in Leo. So there's some wrap up for you, Leo. And then a new moon in Pisces. So that's new beginnings for Pisces and the new start of their year. What's wonderful too, in February, we will have Mercury out of shadow. So we're really looking at February as the real tie up of that whole Mercury retrograde in Capricorn, right? Where all the tentacles of the confusion and miscommunication will be cleared up, certainly by February 2023. All right, take care of yourself. I'm sending everybody lots of positive energy and lots of love. I'd love to hear from everybody as usual. If you want your chart done, all the information is below in the text box. Please take care of yourself, and we will talk to you soon. Bye for now.